tell the story of Samuel. Long ago, there lived a young woman named Hannah in the land of Israel. She married a fine young man named Elkanah, who loved her and was kind and generous. Both Hannah and her husband trusted in God and worshipped Him, and together they prayed that He would bless them with a little child. But as years went by, Hannah and Elkanah did not have a baby. Some of the young mothers were unkind and poked fun at Hannah, pointing to their own children. Often Hannah would become so sad that she would creep away by herself. Each year, Hannah and her husband made a journey to a place called Shiloh to worship God at the tabernacle. And this year, Hannah had a special matter to take up with the Lord. She asked God to give her a baby and promised that if she had a son, she would bring him to serve in God's house. And not long after, God answered Hannah's prayer. They were very happy when the baby was born. They called him Samuel, which means asked of God. As soon as he was big enough to go away from home, Samuel was taken to Shiloh just as his mother had promised. There, at the temple, they talked to Eli the high priest. Hannah said, "Take Samuel and train him to serve the Lord." Now, Eli was getting old and knew that he should begin to train someone to take his place someday. So he gladly took Samuel to live with him in God's house. As time went by, Samuel was able to assume some important temple duties to help Eli. He opened and closed the doors, kept the lamps cleaned, filled, and burning. Samuel was very pleased to see his parents when they made a visit to God's house. Each year his mother bought him a new coat to wear over his simple linen gown. It was hard for Hannah to leave Samuel at the temple and go back to her home. But the Lord blessed Hannah, and soon Samuel's brothers and sisters were born. As Samuel grew older, Eli taught him to read the scrolls which contained the laws and history of God's people, the Israelites. People grew to love Samuel and were ready to listen when he read to them from the books of the law. One night, as Samuel was asleep, he was suddenly awakened by a voice called, "Samuel, Samuel." He sat up quickly. He thought it was Eli who was calling him. So he ran into the high priest's room and said, "Here I am. You called me?" Eli was very surprised and said, "No, I didn't call you. Lie down again." So Samuel went back to bed as he was told. Soon the voice called again, "Samuel, Samuel." And again Samuel ran to Eli and asked, "Did you call me?" Eli shook his head and told, "I did not call you. Go and lie down again." Samuel went back to his bed, but he was puzzled. It wasn't long before the clear voice called the third time. Again Samuel ran into the priest's room. This time Eli realized that something unusual was happening, that it was the Lord himself who was calling Samuel. Eli said, "Go and lie down, but if you hear the voice again, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" This time Samuel couldn't sleep. He waited in the darkness for the voice to come again. Then came the wonderful voice, "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel replied, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." The Lord was there and talked to Samuel and told him of many things that would happen in the future. Samuel grew and the Lord was with him, and all Israel people knew that Samuel was called to be a prophet of the Lord. Moral of the story: it wasn't enough that his parents loved and worshipped God, or that he had been dedicated to the Lord and served in God's house. Samuel had to know that the Lord was his God and give his heart and life to him. As a young boy, he learned to listen to what God said and then obey him. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.